Hi all, this is Neethu TS, guest lecturing DCP Department, Women's Polytechnic College, Nedibura, Thrissur. Today I am discussing about a topic, Final Accounts of Companies, Part 2, form of Statement of Profit and Loss. Here, a format of Statement of Profit and Loss is given. As usual, we first write the name of the company, profit and loss statement for the year entered, date, and the important columns, particulars, note number, figures for the current reporting period and figures for the previous reporting period. Then first item is revenue from operations. Here the revenue from operations, which include the revenue from sale of products, sale of services and other operating revenue. The next item is other income. Then the total revenue we get from the revenue from operations plus and other income, we get total revenue. Then fourth item is expenses. Expenses which include cost of materials consumed, purchase of stock in trade, change in inventories of finished goods, work in progress and stock in trade. Then employees benefit expenses. The employees benefit expenses which include salaries and wages and contribution to provident and other fund and staff welfare expenses. These are shown separately. The next is finance cost. Finance cost which include finance cost can be classified as interest expenses and other borrowing cost. And next item is depreciation and amortization expenses and other expenses. These expenses are included, or the total of these expenses is known as total expenses. Then the next item is, fifth item is profit before exceptional and extraordinary items and tax. We can be treated as profit before tax. That means how we can calculate the profit, the total revenue minus total expenses. So we get profit before exceptional and extraordinary items and tax, or profit before tax. Here we get profit from the total revenue minus total expenses. The third item minus with the fourth items. Then the next item is exceptional items. Exceptional items which include the items should be disclosed reporting in the statement of profit and loss. For example, the cost of restructuring, the cost of disposal of item of fixed assets, then cost of legislative changes, and cost of litigation statement, reversal of provisions. These are included, or these are example of exceptional items. The next item is profit before extraordinary items. The profit before extraordinary items calculated through profit before exceptional and extraordinary items and tax minus exceptional items. We get profit before extraordinary items. The next item is extraordinary items. Then ninth item is profit before tax. The profit before tax can be calculated by profit before extraordinary items minus extraordinary items. The next is tax expenses. The tax expenses which include current tax and deferred tax. The current tax means this is the amount of income tax to be payable in respect of a taxable income calculated as per the Income Tax Act for a particular period. And deferred tax means it's defined as tax effect of timing differences. The timing differences which include the difference between taxable income and an accounting income for a period. Then the next item is profit for the period from continuing operations and profit from discontinuing operations and net expenses of discontinuing operations and the profit from discontinuing operations. Then the other important point is profit for the period. The last important point is earning per equity share. This is another important point which include in statement of profit and loss. The earning per share means the profit allocated to each outstanding equity share, which can be calculated through the profit available to equity shareholders divided by weighted average number of equity shares and diluted earning per share or diluted earning per EPS, which include or it can be calculated through the adjusted net profit divided by adjusted number of equity shares. So these all are about statement of profit and loss. According to this format, we can be calculated, or with the help of this format we can easily calculate or we can easily find out the statement of profit and loss without difficulty. Okay friends, here a problem is given, a simple problem. Under this problem, the various figures are given. According to these figures, prepare a statement of profit or loss. Let's see. As the figures for the previous years is not given under this problem, so it is not recorded. Then the first item is stock of finished goods on 1/4/2014, that means opening stock at 80,000. Then sale of goods. Sale of goods means revenue from operations, and the excise duty of goods sold, and purchase of raw materials. Purchase of raw materials include cost of materials consumed, then purchase of stock in trade, salaries to employees. Salaries to employees is given under the employees benefit expenses. Then interest on borrowings is an finance cost, and dividend from companies. A dividend from companies is an other income, which included in other income. Then staff welfare expenses, which include employees benefit expenses. Wages to workers is also included in employees benefit expenses. The depreciation on fixed asset, it included in expenses, and tax expenses for the current year is given. Then last point is stock of finished goods on 31/3/2015 was valued at 96,000, that is closing stock is 96,000. Then first we record revenue from operations. Here revenue from operations, which means sale of goods, 3,86,000. From the sale of goods, we must reduce the excise duty, because the excise duty on goods sold, it must be reduced or it must be deducted from sales. Then we get revenue from operation, net amount of revenue from operation, that is 3,74,000. The excise duty is 12,000. So sales minus excise duty, we get revenue from operation. The net revenue from operation, that is 3,74,000. Then next item is other income. The other head is other income. Under this problem, it's only another income, that is dividend. That is dividend received from companies, 10,000. 10,000 as other income, which is included in other income. Then we can calculate the total revenue. Total revenue means revenue from operations plus other income. We get 3,84,000, that is total revenue. The next head is expenses. The expenses which include cost of materials consumed. That cost of material consumed, which include purchase of raw materials. Purchase of raw materials, that is 1,93,600. And next expenses is purchase of stock in trade. The purchase of stock in trade, which include 20,400. The next item is changes in inventory. Under the changes in inventory, here the closing stock is more than the opening stock. The closing stock is 96,000, the opening stock is 80,000. So the closing stock is more than opening stock. So the difference of 16,000 is a negative figure. Hence it's put into bracket, because the closing stock is more than opening stock. So 16,000 is a negative figure. Hence it put in brackets. The next item is employees benefit expense, and the employees benefit expense, which include salaries to employees, staff welfare to expenses, and wages to workers. Here the salaries to employees 60,600, staff welfare expenses 6,000, wages to workers 16,000. So the total is 82,600. The employees benefit expenses 82,600. Then other head is finance cost. The finance cost which include interest on borrowings, that is interest on borrowings 12,000. Finance cost is 12,000. Then next item is only depreciation on fixed assets, that is 25,000. And the total of these expenses 3,17,600. The total expenses is 3,70,600. Then next we calculate profit before tax. How we can calculate profit? That is total revenue minus total expenses. Then we get 66,400. The total revenue minus total expenses, we get 66,400 profit before tax. Then here tax expenses is given in this problem. The tax expenses for the current year 16,600. So we can calculate profit after tax. Here profit before tax is 66,400 minus tax expenses for the current year 16,800. Then we get profit after tax 49,600. So there is no other exceptional items and no discontinuing operations are given. Then the earning per share is not calculated as per the number of equity shares is not given. So this is the problem of statement of profit or loss for the year ending 31st March 2015. Okay friends, thank you for watching this video.